Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 29th of November for the Sun or the Ascendant. Now what I'm going to do is give you a broad overview of the major strands that are going to be influencing us all. And then please stay with me, I'll dive deep to give you in forensic detail your zodiac sign forecast. This week begins with a momentous astrological moment. The Sun and Mercury are so tightly together as we see it from Earth that they are in cazimi. This is going to see the power of the Sun magnify the influence of Mercury. Mercury technically is in detriment in the sign of Sagittarius where this event occurs, but I actually really quite like Mercury in Sagittarius. I think it's very thirsty for knowledge, it loves travel, it can be very adventurous, and the Sun and Mercury coming together suggests that we are going to have a greater desire to inform ourselves, but inform ourselves with higher ideals, the bigger picture, philosophy, history, any kind of background research, whether it's into the family tree or a business plan, can really benefit from this combination. Also very good for contractual discussions as well. Now we know that the world environment is challenged severely by COVID. If COVID wasn't there, I think a lot of us would want to inject our existence with some kind of spontaneity and adventurism. But we can still use our minds to achieve that. And Mars in the sign of Scorpio, which it governs, is forging a very compassionate link to Neptune. Now this suggests that we can dive deep in our thinking and the things that we explore, the knowledge that we gain in a very productive way. But also this week, the Sun is going to go on to forge a very stable link with Saturn. Now of course Saturn gets a bad astrological press, but it's very much to do with boundaries, stability, the structures that we're trying to build up that are positive. Of course sometimes Saturn will limit us around the things that aren't working so well. But this is a lovely angle because the Sun in Sagittarius is very much about freedom, and Saturn in the sign of Aquarius, also about freedom, is the ruler of that sign, the co-ruler. So where we're progressive and we're growing our situation and being more pioneering, but we're doing it in a step-by-step, thorough, well-researched way, Saturn supports the Sun in a very constructive manner. Now that brings us to that incredibly powerful total solar eclipse which occurs on Saturday. If you want to watch my deep dive video into this, please see beneath this video. Now this event is broadly going to still be in a sextile with Saturn, but it's also going to forge a quincunx with Uranus. So I think one of the things that we must embrace over the next 6 months, the range of influence of this final Sagittarius Gemini polarity eclipse in the series, before we go more into the Taurus Scorpio season of next year, and we've already had the Taurus lunar eclipse, the first phase of that. I think what we've got to just bear in mind is that the position of the Sun in the 9th house is about going for it. Uranus in the 2nd house is about more being conscious of our resources. So because they're not quite aligning very well, one of the things that we're going to need to work hard on, all of us, over the next half year is using our resources in a more constructive, practical way and not spending money just for the pleasure of it alone. So we're going to be looking to invest in things that have some kind of ongoing practical credential rather than living in the moment quite so much. So I think all of this is asking us to become much more mindful of our resources. But please stay with me for your in-depth forecast. But if you are new to my channel, I would be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Also, if you'd like to get your free daily horoscope, written horoscope, fired to your device each morning, please see the link beneath this video. And if you'd like to get your personal forecast for next year, you can do so now and get the rest of this year free, plus a character analysis plus 30% off. Also, please see the link below. Hello Capricorn, and welcome to your in-depth forecast for week commencing the 29th of November. Now, a lot of astrologers are going to be focusing on the fact that the Sun and Mercury are very closely bound together in a consemi at the start of this week. And it is really influential because it's in your 12th house, which can be to do with things that are more hidden, the subconscious, the part of ourselves that we're not always keen to embrace, anxieties, fears. But also it can be to do with compassion, healing, and the more traditional characteristics of what Christmas used to be before it became a kind of material fest. And so therefore, if there is a part of you that really loves all that tradition, you can really embrace it in a very positive way. Also, Mars is in your sector of friendship and is linking beautifully to Neptune. Neptune in your sector of everyday communications means that your thinking, your self-expression can be quite magical, and there could be some friends that really are very important to you at this time. But I do feel that you should have quite a high standard of who qualifies to be at the heart of your inner circle, because the 12th house energy can provoke, undoubtedly, an awareness to those people that we can't trust quite so much. You know, those fair weather friends that seem to be all good on the face of it, but they're not really there for you when things are a bit more tricky. But the aspect I want to talk about this week for you is the fact that Venus in your sign is now connecting with Pluto and will do so all through December. And this is so influential. This is going to give you a quite magical radiance. If you're single, this can draw someone to you. It could even draw someone back into your life who's not been in it for some while. Now, if there is a particular old flame that you still have a great respect and affection for, please don't take what I've said as a certainty that they're going to be in touch. When I say could, I really mean could. And the reason I'm saying this is that whenever we hear a forecast or we have a chat with a psychic, those words can really weigh on our thinking. And therefore, I want you to be aware that this is a possibility, not a certainty, if there is someone you really would yearn to be in touch. But on the other hand, it may be it's you who's going to suddenly realise that the nostalgia for a past connection means that you want to reach out to them. So it's a possibility, but whether it happens is 50% down to you. And if it doesn't happen, do try to be philosophical about it. Now, as we get to the end of the week, of course, we have that total solar eclipse in your 12th house, and it does clash with Uranus in your sector of self-expression, and will do so over the next 6 months. So the 12th house is about those more spiritual themes in your situation, about healing, about rest, about meditation, about perhaps withdrawing a little bit, not being quite, you can be great fun. You've got a terrific sense of humour, a terrific host too, and with Pluto and Venus together, you are going to draw a lot of attention. But I think it's being selective, really. As I said, keep that high standard of who you will allow by your side, because Uranus is essentially saying that maybe you need to change things up in the coming year, be much more creative, free-spirited, and particularly around a love relationship. So if you're in a relationship which isn't working very well at the moment, I think you might be seriously thinking with this set of influences about whether you want to stay in that tie future forwards. Also, the Sun this week is linking with your ruler Saturn. But that's just saying to you, the things that you do behind the scenes, or have been doing behind the scenes, they can start to show a return for you. So if you've worked long and hard over a very long period of time, and the pickings have seemed a little thin, you may start to see more tangible evidence of progress. If things have been going better than that, you can take that next step forwards to feeling much more secure about your future financial prospects.